Hey, this is Andrew Norp, and welcome to A Fool's Errand, a podcast where we plan to fail, make mistakes, and learn 12 skills in 12 months. It's episode 1 in week 0 of Chess Month. Today I'm going to explain to you why I'm doing chess as a month, what our goals are, and what really chess is when you get down into it, you know? So, welcome to episode 1 of A Fool's Errand. If you want to hear what this podcast is all about, I would advise going and listening to the trailer or the 0th episode. But to give you a quick rundown, I'm Andrew Norp, and I'm going to try to learn 12 skills in 12 months. I'm going to devote each month of the year to learning one different skill, and our first month, and the month we're on right now, is January, and I'm going to be trying to learn chess. Like I said in the last episode, many of these months have a general idea, like I'm going to be getting better at chess, but they also have a very specific goal. I'll talk more later about what that specific goal is, but you may be wondering why I chose chess as my first month, and that is a great question. You see, I wanted chess to be the first month for a variety of reasons. Number one being that chess is very measurable. When you lose at chess, it's because you lost, and when you win, you win. There is no luck of the dice, there are no teammates. It is all on you. So chess is very easy to tell if I'm winning or losing. For example, something like writing, it's all about opinion. Do you think it's good? Whatever, you can get the opinion of other people, you can have your own opinion, but you never can actually know for sure how well you're doing. That's one of the things I kind of love and hate about writing, but with chess, you know if you're winning, you know if you're losing. It's a binary on and off switch. So it's going to be very easy to track throughout this month how well I'm doing with the project because how much am I winning and how much am I losing. But that's not the only reason it's very measurable. Chess actually has a measuring system to see at what level player you are. It's called a chess rating. So if I beat someone who's way better than me, my chess rating goes up, and if I lose someone who's way worse than me, my chess rating goes down. Every win does raise me and every loss does make me lose points, but the wider the difference between me and the player, the wider the change. So if I have a 2,000 rating and I lose against a novice with a 900 rating, I'm going to lose a ton because that's showing that I can lose to people of that level, but they're going to raise a ton because they're showing that they can beat people of my level. And so we, throughout this month, will be able to see how my chess rating is affected and very easily almost draw a graph of my progress through the month. I'll talk more about chess ratings later because my goal is kind of centered around a chess rating I'm going for. But that's not the only reason I want to do chess in my first month. Also, I love chess. It's one of my favorite games. I enjoy it a lot. It's actually a skill I already have some proficiency in. It's probably the only skill I'm going to be doing where I've already done some of it throughout these 12 months. Most of them I'm trying something new that I've always wanted to try. But with chess, it's not that I'm trying something new that I've always wanted to try. I'm trying to be great at something that I've always enjoyed. I've always played chess as a hobby, but right now I'm trying to become amazing at chess. I want to master the skill. I want to be able to beat most people. Whereas before I could beat most people who, kind of just enjoyed the game. I want to be able to beat other people who care about the game like me. I want to be able to go to championships and have a good chance of winning. I want to be able to talk about the game knowledgeably and have a proficiency in that skill. I want to master chess. You see, in my mind, there are kind of two different categories of chess players. There are people who see chess like a board game, and there are people who see chess like a sport. The people who see chess like a board game play the game and they know the rules, but they don't really work really hard at it or think about it a lot. But people who see chess like a sport are following the game, they're following the grandmasters, they're practicing, they're improving their skill, and I want to be like one of them. Currently, I can beat most people who see chess like a board game, because most of them haven't put that much effort in. I'm kind of in between the two right now. I can't beat most people who see chess as a sport. Those people have put more time in, more effort in, and have most of them just lived longer lives than me. They're adults, so they have more time. But I want to be able to be on their playing field. I thought I was good at chess until I went to New York City and played in a chess park and was destroyed by everyone. That's because I could beat my friends at chess. And then I got good enough, and I thought, oh, now I'm good at chess. And then I went on to Chess24, a website full of tons of chess players, and almost all of them beat me. And that's because people on Chess24 are people who care about chess. They're people who are constantly trying to improve at chess. I want to be able to master that skill. And the fact that I already know the skill is kind of the third reason I want this to be my first month, because I want to start off something in the year that I have some proficiency in so I'm not completely lost, because I'm already going to be kind of lost with how I'm even doing this podcast and this whole month project. So I want to at least have one thing I understand in a basic level, and I understand chess in a basic level. So at least I'll be a little less confused about that this month. But it's definitely still going to be difficult because I'm shooting for something that I've always wanted and always tried for, but never been able to make it. Maybe now's a good time to tell you what my main goal is. It's what I'm calling my ideal outcomes. So my goal is just to get better at chess, but ideally, and what I'm shooting for, is that I reach a chess rating of 1600. In chess, there's this thing called a rating system, which I talked about earlier, and it's this mathematical formula, because, chess is made by nerds, but it shows you how good you are at chess compared to other players, and it's normally used in official settings like championships and stuff, and that's how you get it. But I'm going to be getting my score just from a website, so I don't think it's technically official, but that's where I'm going to be going to play my games. I'm using the website Chess24, which I mentioned previously, which has a lot of chess players. So I'm going to be on that website trying to improve my score. Right now, my score is exactly 1200. I'm going to try to get my score to 1600. You probably don't know what that means. I didn't really know what that means until like a week ago. But a score of 800 below is beginner, 1200 and below is novice, and then 1600 is middle grade player. You're just like, you're good. You can beat most people. You are a good chess player. 2400 and above is grandmaster, competitive, professional, stuff like that. But with 1600, I can go to local championships and I can play most of everyone and beat them. So I think I'm going to go for that. That means I'll have to get 400 points in this month, which, when you boil down to it, is about 20 wins. Now, I looked at that and I'm like, 20 wins? I can do that. Like, why don't I shoot for higher? But then I just thought for a second more, and I realized that it doesn't mean like 20 wins like overall. It means 20 net wins, right? So every time I lose, I have to win 2 games. So is that how it works? My math is dubious here. But what I'm saying, if I lost 40 games, I'd have to win 60 games. I'd have to win 20 more games than I lost to get my score to 1600. I know that sounded easy enough until I thought about it more, and it sounded even more difficult, because the better I get at chess, the harder it's going to be to raise my chess score. Because right now, if I beat anyone who is above my chess score, I go up more than 20 points. And there are plenty of people above my chess score because I'm at 1200. But by the time at 1500, that won't be the same situation anymore. Most people above me will be really good players. So I'm going to have to be beating people below me, and then I won't raise my points as much. So if I want to beat people who are good, I'm going to have to beat people above me who will now be better players. So as I go on, this will get harder. Hopefully my skill will improve as I go on. That's the thought, right? But we can't be entirely sure. That's not my only goal though. I'm going to also try to read a chess strategy book from cover to cover. This will just obviously help me build up my strategy and get to 1600 points. And I've just never done it. And when I hear some chess players being like, yes, the Terzaghi opening, I'm like, I don't even know what that is. And I want to be able to talk to my chess nerd friends and sound smart. Really, that's what half of these months are about, is being able to sound smart around my nerdy friends, which are all my friends. One of my other things I'm kind of trying to do this month is I want to get back into the chess world. I want to know the grandmasters' names, know what their moves are, know the history of chess a little bit more. I want to get back into it like it's a sport, like you know your favorite team's names and you know their history and all that stuff. So I'm going to spend the next couple weeks watching a lot of those chess videos, and I think also looking at the example of the best chess players now and throughout history will help me grow as a player. I also have a goal to play 100 games. This means I'm going to play 5 games a day for every weekday of the month about. So there's a couple reasons I'm doing this. 1, because it'll help me get to the 1600. 2, it's going to be impossible to decrease in ability at chess after playing that many games. 3, I don't control completely if I get to 1600, right? I kind of do, because I control my skill, but there's a chance I could mess up somewhere. But I literally can't mess up at playing 100 games. As long as I just keep working, it's physically impossible not to fail, because I can just play another game. I can just not sleep, whatever, right? And so getting to 100 games is a goal that I know will be difficult, but a goal that I know I can physically not fail at if I go for it. Now, how am I going to reach these goals? I need to be able to set a plan so I can achieve them by the end of the month. And so I'm not overwhelmed just by looking at them, because when I first saw them, I'm like, 1600, okay, how do I even do that? Well, my current plan right now is just to play a lot of games in a way. I could obviously go with some type of chess course, and I might do that if my current plan isn't working. I'm going to be reading that chess book and taking a lot of strategy from it. But I think if I just play enough chess, practice makes perfect. If I take notes, if I think about it, if I watch chess videos and advice and, do all the research I can slowly tack up my points. When I used to be a little bit more into chess and was trying to get a higher point score, I had a strategy which I used for a little bit before I quit because it was really difficult, which was called net win, where I would play games until I had a net win of points, and then I would stop, and then I would start again the next day. So that means at the end of every day, I had more points than when I started, no matter what. So if I lost the first game, I'd have to win 2 games. Or if I lost the first 2 games, I would keep playing until I had won 3 games, so on and so forth, which sometimes meant you spiral into playing a lot of games. And also, it kept me from being like a gambler, where I would win one game, and I'm like, just gonna keep going, and then I'd lose one, I'm like, no, just one more. And so I had to control myself in that way. So I plan to do a strategy like that to kind of get there if I can increase my points enough every day. But instead of just doing any amount of points, I need to increase 20 points a weekday, because I'm not going to be doing this a ton on weekends because I want to be editing the podcast and stuff then. So if I increase 20 points a weekday, I should have improved 400 points by the end of the month, and therefore be at a score of 1,600. Also, side note, I think I may have mentioned in my last episode that I was going to go for 1,500. I did some more research and looked at my chess score and realized that 1,600 would be a better goal, and also I thought I was at 1,100 points, and I'm actually at 1,200 points, so it's technically I don't have to change the amount of points I'm trying to improve at. So yeah, I'm going to go every day. Every morning I'm going to wake up, I'm going to play chess games, I'm going to study, I'm just going to go for it. That's kind of what I love about this month's problem, is I can just slam myself against it. Since it's so cerebral, I can just keep learning. If I'm doing something that's a little more physical, maybe like piano, where that is a lot of cerebral, but there's also about hand growth, where I can't just spend all day playing piano and by the end of the day be way better because my fingers have to improve in physical skill. But with chess, since it is so mental, a lot of it can just be, if you just keep going at it, you can just keep improving. There is obviously chess, you need to form mental patterns and literally change the structure of your brain a bit. And I've actually found in real life that taking a break or sleeping can kind of help that those brain bits reset and work together, right? But it's still a thing that you can just slam yourself against and improve at really quickly if you really try. And then throughout the month, I will very easily be able to track how I'm doing. Like I mentioned previously, I can see the games I lost, I can tell why I lost them, what moves I did incorrectly, and then change in future. And by the end of the month, if I achieve the scale of 1,600, I know I did that because of how chess works. There's no luck, there's no teams, right? There are no mistakes. I achieved that goal. And I think that'll be really satisfying to be able to say, I did that, I proved that to myself, and I moved on. And also, I think there are some other really applicable skills you learn while playing chess, at least I personally think, because my biggest problem with chess, and many beginners' biggest problems, is not all the strategy and all that stuff. It is focus, humility, and attention, because the biggest mistake any player can make at any point is losing focus. Really, if you're playing a game of chess, you can be I basically already won this, and just throw pieces around the board, you're gonna lose. Or if you think, there's no hope, I've lost, throw a piece around the board, you're gonna lose. Or if you just let your mind wander or whatever, that's how you're going to lose. So I need to learn to focus. When I'm doing best in chess is when I am completely focusing, when I am both believing I can win, but not believing winning has already happened. I need to be focused, be in the game, be completely functioning, right? My entire brain is working within it. I really love chess for that reason. It can be really exhilarating because it's a full mental experience. You're really thinking about it. I remember when I used to play chess with my brother Daniel, I would be sweating more than I ever did because it would just be so intense of thinking, focusing. And then when I lose, it's almost always because I get cocky or I forget that I need to be focusing and paying attention. It's all about focus and attention, and also pattern recognition, a part of life that we use all of the time, right? Telling, when I've been here before, I know what to do, and that's a really easy skill to gain just from practice. So if I keep playing, I'll get more and more of that. I'll be able to see 3 games ago when his queen was there, I was pretty sure what to do, and here I won't make that mistake again or whatever. And also, attention is just a muscle you kind of need to grow to train yourself to be we are now paying attention, we are playing this game, do not let your mind wander. And then I think the strategy part of it, if I need to grow that a ton, will come from my book. It'll come from learning. And if I do need to, I will take a chess course at some point to help me grow. But I think a chess score of 1,600, I don't need to super focus on strategy named openings. And if I do, I'll just try that. But currently my plan is to just focus on improving my attention and focus and somewhat strategy. but mostly like pattern recognition. It's Monday the 4th. Sorry that this episode came out late today. I planned to put them out on Monday mornings from here on out, but I kind of had a busy weekend because of the finishing up of the holidays, so I wasn't able to edit the podcast Saturday, so I get it out today in the morning. But in the future, I will try my best to do that, and yeah, we have, since it's the beginning of the month, and there hasn't even been a full work week. I normally work on a Monday to Friday basis and then do other projects on Saturday and Sunday, and I have a Sunday as a day of rest on the Sabbath. So I haven't been able to get a ton done in the past couple days because it's been New Year's Day and then Saturday, which was kind of crazy, and then Sunday. But I have done a little bit. I did a little bit on Saturday, and I've done a little bit earlier today. So I'm going to go through those things, talk about them, talk about how they went and how I'm feeling, and then next episode we can update you. Normally in the podcast, it'll be mostly about this. It'll mostly be clips from each day, like audio recordings from the field, how I'm feeling, so you can almost get like a vlog-like feel of what's going on. There'll be less of this type of talking and more of recordings from the field and thoughts and me summarizing the week, stuff like that. It's going to be more like a audio journal. Let's get right into it. I did do a little bit on the 31st, a little bit of a prep before, and we'll listen to that right now, and I can maybe explain some loose ends. Okay, it's the 31st of December, last day of the year. It's not technically January yet, so I can't start on actually, playing chess, or I don't want to start yet because I feel like that'd be breaking the rules. You gotta wait till tomorrow. But I think it would be fun to kind of do a little prep today, prepare for the oncoming month. I am putting some things in place. Why not on this last day of my holiday break, I do the very fun activity of organizing my desk, because I'm a nerd. And organizing desks is fun. I have a chess collection, a lot of chessboards and stuff, so I think I'm gonna find all those chess pieces that I've scattered about my home in the form of decorations and such, and then I'm going to bring those chessboards over to the place where I'm going to be playing chess at the warehouse and set them up as decorations. Maybe I'll get over there and I'll decide that I actually want to play chess at my office at the house. Well, not my office. In my room desk, which is a nice desk, but it's just kind of cluttered in my room because it's a small room, and there'll be more distractions from my siblings. I want to have a space where I can just have no distractions, just focus on the game. Yeah, I really actually like having a physical space to do something. It's really helpful for me emotionally, and I've heard a lot of people say this who work from home, that you need to set off different spaces so your mind understands, oh, when I'm sitting at this desk, I am doing work, and when I'm sitting on the couch, I am watching YouTube or whatever. So then you kind of don't mix the two things, and you don't end up with weird dynamics where when I used to be writing, sometimes I'd be writing and then I'd get bored halfway through a sentence, and I'd just find myself opening YouTube and starting a YouTube video. But if you're sitting at your desk and this desk you only write at, and if you want to watch YouTube you have to walk all the way downstairs, then you might get bored halfway through a sentence and you'll just lean back and think and then start writing again. And you're even less likely to just sit there and stare out the window because you're I'm at the desk, I may as well write. And you kind of train your subconscious to work better when you're at that desk and to think about writing and be in that mental space, less distractions, more focused. And then it also even makes watching YouTube even better because you don't have that weird guilt of should I be working now? Because you're no, I'm sitting at the couch. When I sit at the couch, I'm watching YouTube. And I feel it makes entertainment more fun. And I wanted to have a place where I could play chess, no distractions, really put myself in the headspace of chess. And so I want to do that over at my parents' warehouse. They own a warehouse right across the street from our house where they do work on furniture. And there's a lot of empty space in there. Well, there's actually not that much empty space in there, but there's enough. And I have a desk over there. So I want to set up a desk and I can use that. And then also there's less distractions than working at my desk at my house, because at my desk in my house, it's in my bedroom, which I share with 3 brothers. They're always in there. And also that bedroom's pretty messy and I don't want that cluttered of a space. Of course I could clean my room, but who wants to do that? Carrying all the chessboards into the warehouse right now. Sounds like Mom's already over here with the heater on. There it is. In here. Whoa, it is messy over here. I literally can't walk to the desk because there's so many boxes. And the desk itself is just stacked up with stuff. I got all my old terrarium stuff on there and all my old D&D stuff. You see, I used to use this desk to make terrariums and D&D minifigures and stuff back when I went through the phase of making things. That was fun, but just dropped a box. Haven't done that in a while, so interested to see what I will do with all this stuff. I got a lot of it. Maybe I'll have a maybe a link in the show notes to show you what this looks like. I got it's so busy. What am I gonna do with all this? Got a lot of paint, twigs, literally twigs to make stuff out of, pens, huge tweezers, metal jars, not metal jars, glass jars, and metal things. This camera stuff, I didn't even put this here. I was actually able to, completely finish that day besides getting a lamp on it to brighten it up, and I planned on doing that this morning, but then I realized a problem and a lack of foresight. Good morning, everyone. It is the first Monday of the year. Because my weekend was a holiday-filled one, I'm going to have to be a little busy today. I'm going to have to record a podcast, check out a book about chess at the library, play my first chess game, and setting up my chess. A stunning realization just hit me. Turns out that the warehouse doesn't have Wi-Fi, something I knew, but I forgot that my phone does no longer have a personal hotspot. So if I'm over at the warehouse, there is no way for my computer to have Wi-Fi for me to play chess on. So that's something we're going to have to figure out now. Our first problem of the year. As you can hear, it was morning, so I was using my low, don't wake up my siblings voice. But yeah, I got out of the shower, I was like revving to go over to the warehouse, and I'm like, wait a second, maybe my hotspot won't be good enough, because I knew in the past that if your Wi-Fi is a little choppy while playing chess, that can be really annoying because it'll lag and time matters in chess. But then I was like, wait, do I even have a hotspot anymore? Because like my Verizon plan changed recently, and I don't. So that was a problem. But with that, I thought, hey, I don't know how to solve that right now, but I will do something else in the meantime. I'll go over to the warehouse. I'll go over to the library. And so I set off on my morning walk to the library, which is in walking distance of my house, to grab the chess book. Okay, my dad said he would figure out the hotspot situation, and if that doesn't work, I have now cleaned my room, so I can use that. I plan on playing chess between 9 and 10 in the warehouse with absolutely no distractions. We'll see how that works out. But currently, I'm going to get a book at the library about chess because I want to read a chess book from cover to cover, which I've never actually done before. And I don't really even know if they're meant to be read from cover to cover because normally they have like strategies. I think you're supposed to like study with them. We'll see. But I'm going to read one throughout this experience to hopefully help me grow my chess ability. But it's a beautiful day, so it's nice to be on a walk into my little town. But when I arrived at the library, I discovered yet another problem.
I'm sure you can probably figure it out better than
Sounds good. And if they are coming from another library, how long will they take to get here in the morning?
It depends if it's checked in. I'll try to find one that's checked in. It'll take probably like 2 to 3 business days.
Okay. As you heard, they don't have any chess books checked in. Apparently, it's not the best time to get into chess. Well, I guess maybe it is the time to get into chess because of that show, Queen's Gambit. But now the world is low on chess resources. I feel very unoriginal now, but they're going to have some books shipped over in a couple days, and I'm going to go check at the bookstore and see if they have any chess books for sale. And if I get them only a couple late, that's fine. I have a whole month to read them, though I would like to get them sooner rather than later. Gotta hold out hope. Maybe I should stop recording audio while I'm walking. I sound really out of breath there. Or maybe I should just walk more. That sounds too hard. Yeah, as you can hear, the little down, both of my things had wrenches thrown into them. not just was the warehouse closed, but since it was closed, I wasn't able to start playing chess at the time I wanted to start. I wanted to start from 9 and go to 10 and have like a sacred hour of chess where I don't do anything else. I'm completely focused because 9 to 10 is actually when I kind of work the best if I wake up at the right time. But I had to clean my room during that time, and then I had to go to the library. So a wrench was already thrown into my day. I could still play chess later, but it felt a little annoying to have on the very first day, one major just wrench thrown into all those gears. And then I'm like, oh, well, at least I'll go get the book. And I got to the library and they were out of stock because everyone's getting into chess right now. So I decided to go to the bookstore to possibly buy a book from them because I was just anxious to get something done today. Okay, the bookstore is closed today. It'll be open tomorrow, which I guess that's enough time to wait for the library. I didn't expect this many small challenges this early on, but they're gonna come at some point. So I really got into my head. I'm like, okay, Andrew, there's gonna be problems. We're gonna have to face them. And actually how I dealt with it on the walk back was by recording a segment of the show which will appear shortly called How I Failed This Week, which is focused on the biggest mistake I made and, more importantly, the biggest lesson I learned. It's really the segment about what I learned this week, but we're just trying to remember that failure is good and it teaches us things. And that's what this whole thing about. It is intentionally failing. I want to take as many opportunities as I can to fail this year so that I learn a ton this year. I'm just trying to fail, basically. I'm giving myself all the opportunities to trip so I learn how to run. I was able to play a game of chess, which made me happy to finally get something done today. Here we are at 10:06, more than an hour later than I planned on starting chess, without a book, which I planned on having, and in a different space than I would like to be in. But we can still play, which is the main objective. Some side bits are messed up. We still got this central base thing. Click play now. 15-minute game against a human of possibly any score. My current chess rating, I think, I'll see it in a second, is like 1143 or something.
Wait, here it's loading. The game's about to start.
Game started. I'm exactly at 1200, and this person is 1239. So, they're a little bit better than me. I have a chance. If I beat them, I'll get a little more than 20 points. I want to get my chess score to, I think I said 1500 last time, but since I realized I'm at 1200, I think I'm actually going to go for 1600. So, they just moved their piece, and I'm going to be quiet so I can focus. My favorite opening is The Queen's Gambit, which is now the name of a TV show. So, maybe I should watch that show. Wise move. What are you... Actually, I'm not quite sure what I think they're just getting their bishop out. Yes. Oh, she brought her queen out. Dang, I haven't seen a queen out that quickly. Threaten the queen. Now I can just chase him around the board. Okay, move your queen away. Thank you. Thinking about bringing my queen out too. Possibly dangerous. Castle kingside. If I moved my knight, I could just mess with their queen. If I moved my bishop, or my pawn, I could mess with their queen, which would not be particularly powerful in any way, but it would just be kind of mean. I'm considering doing it. No, then they could take with their knight. I have a plan. Don't move your queen. Oh, yes. Am I about to checkmate them? That would be beautiful. I just checkmated them, and I wasn't even planning on that. My goodness. Winning that game, if you can't tell, really raised my spirits a bit. And then I played another game, which was really fun. I was on my toes the entire time. I was playing up against someone who was a 1400 chess score. we were about equal, and then I started to lose hope, so they started to win, but I had double the time than them, so by the end of the game, I was just stalling, and they were at 1 second, and they stalemated me. It was so annoying. I was literally 1 second away from winning. Well, no, yeah, winning on time, and they stalemated me. Which is actually, in the end, since they were doing so much better than me, like, strategically, that's actually a win. Partly also since they were higher point value than me, a draw actually means I gained points, and they lost points. Not as much as I would have won, but still, it was, in the end, overall a raise in points. I then did lose to someone, which then lost me points, but I ended up with a net win of about 18 points. But before we finish off today, we should get into our segment, How I Failed This Week. Welcome to How Did I Fail This Week, a segment where we talked about what major failure or mistake I made, what I learned from it, and why it's okay that I made that mistake. Why does the audio sound different? Because I felt like recording this on my walk home from the library. You probably heard, maybe minutes ago, who knows how long ago, my wild goose chase to find a chess book so I can read it from cover to cover, study chess strategy, get into that, and learning that all the chess books were checked out, that the bookstore was closed, and that for now I'm gonna have to wait. That's fine, of course. I mean, I have a whole month, as I said, but I planned on having the chess book today, and it's going to be a little harder to read it all the way through and to start off because I don't. And I also planned on being able to play chess in the warehouse today, and as of today, the warehouse is not ready because I don't have Wi-Fi over there. I will pretty soon, probably, and then I'll be able to play. And even if I don't, I will be able to play at my house. But I planned on these two things, but I did not actually put in the effort or time to figure out if they would actually work. So I think the failure this week was lack of foresight and expecting challenges. It's pretty easy to kind of expect that everything will just work out great at the beginning. I was just gonna wake up today, I was gonna destroy someone at chess, I was gonna get a chess book, and it was gonna be amazing. I was gonna record a podcast that would be beautiful, I would edit it, it would be up on time, everything would be perfect, my Wi-Fi would be great, but it didn't really work out that way today. That's fine. I think I'll be able to recover from one day where everything didn't go according to plan. But I think in future, it'll be helpful to be completely prepared and have better foresight, think things through, make sure everything's ready to go by the time we want to get started, or at least plan for challenges like this so I'm not behind because I didn't do enough this week. I'm not technically behind yet because I just need to earn 100 points or up my rating 100 points before the end of the week, and I mean, I can do that as long as I earn a couple points today and tomorrow and whatever. Then I want to at least win one chess game today, so I mean, I can still do that, but I should have been more prepared and prepared for this. And I think a bigger failure, and one I was about to fall into before I remembered the purpose of this segment, was saying, oh, dang it, I don't have the chess books, the library doesn't have them, my Wi-Fi isn't working, and just getting really frustrated about the project and being then none of the months are going to work because you can't even have the first Monday of the first month work. But I mean, that's kind of what it's about. It's never going to work perfectly. So I think I almost so close to falling into that state, but I was able to save myself by remembering to record this, that it's all about failure. That's what we're meant to be doing. That's what we're learning from. That's what makes it interesting. That's the challenge. So yeah, I recorded that on the walk back. It was actually really helpful for me emotionally to remind myself that failure is good. I think that's part of the reason I'm doing this podcast, is to remind myself. If I have to remind you guys of it a ton, I'm going to start reminding myself. That wasn't the biggest chess mistake I made, because I think I want to talk about those growing in chess strategies. In the game was the other player made a move in that last game where I lost, which I didn't understand, and I'm like, idiot, you made a dumb move that does nothing. And then it turned out the move was actually smart and I just didn't understand it. And maybe in future I should learn and remember that if an opponent does a move that I don't understand, it's probably not because they're just an idiot making moves that don't make sense. It's because they're smarter than me, and I am not smart enough to understand the moves they're making, or at least I need to pay more attention to understand the moves they're making. So I lost basically because I'm like, that guy made a dumb move that does nothing, and I throw a piece out there, and they pull off this trick that, like, loses me my queen. So, yeah, that's a good lesson to learn. That's also good in life, you know? Someone's making a move you don't understand, it's probably because you're not smart enough to understand it. Thank you guys all for listening to this episode. I learned a ton this week. In the end, I'm actually pretty happy with what happened, even though I made a couple mistakes and failures, some of which were kind of out of my control. I think by next week, everything should be back in place. Everything should be on track. Once again, sorry for this is coming out late. I hope that our next episode will be out Monday morning. You can hear how the rest of the week went, daily updates on how my chess is going. Let's see, maybe by then I'll be at 1400, and we'll probably know what's happened to the desk, if I have Wi-Fi over there by then, and what if I got my chess book and which chess book I chose, because I planned on getting a couple. Yeah, I'm just really excited, really ready to go. If anyone does want to try a project like this with me out there, that would be great, and I'd love to hear from you or any projects you're doing, anything you're learning, any big mistakes you've made and learned from. You can send stuff like that in through Twitter at A Fool's Errand Pod, or you can leave a review and tell us. If you liked the episode of the podcast and you just want to help out, you can leave a 5-star review. If you don't like the episode, just leave and don't leave a review. I mean, please and thank you. I think that is all for this week, so join us next Monday. If you want to hear more, don't forget to hit subscribe. And that's all. Have a good week, everyone. Love y'all. Keep banging.